Altazor, Canto 4. There's no time to lose. Nurse of the shadows, nurse of distance, I'm coming back to you, escaping the immeasurable kingdom of angels prohibited by dawn. You used to hide behind your secrets with a smile of eyelids and air, and I lifted the cape of your laughter, and I cut through the shadows that cast signs of distance over you. Your dream will sleep in my hands, marked with the lines of my inseparable fate, in the breast of the same bird that consumes itself in the fire of its song that weeps for time slips through fingers. You know your glance bedecks the sailboats in the rocking nights of the catch. You know your glance ties the knot of stars and the knot of song that will come from this chest. Your glance carries the word to the heart and the enchanted mouth of a nightingale. There's no time to lose. At the hour of the body in the dubious shipwreck, I measure the infinite step by step. The sea waits to conquer, so there's no time to lose. Then, then, beyond the last horizon, we'll see what there is to see. So take care of the eye, precious gift of the brain, the eye anchored in the middle of the worlds, where the great ships run aground. But what can one do if the eye falls sick? What will one do when they give the eye the evil eye? The bright eye feverish as a lynx-eyed lighthouse. The geography of the eye, I may state, is most complex. Sounding its depths is difficult on account of the waves, the mobs of passers-by, the constant crush, the crowded avenues and squares, the parades with their banners marching down through the iris until they are lost, the Raja on his elephant rugs, the lion hunt in the jungles of secular eyelashes, the migrations of shivering birds to other retinas. I love my eyes and I love your eyes and eyes with their own flashpoint, eyes that dance to the sound of an inner music and open like a door onto a crime, and abandon their orbits and go off like blood-stained comets into chance. Eyes so sharp they leave wounds that are slow to heal and can't be closed like an envelope. They are waterfalls of never-ending love, and day and night they change. Eye for an eye like a host for a host. Tree eye, bird eye, river eye, mountain eye, sea eye, earth eye. Moon eye, sky eye, hush eye, only eye for a lonely eye, a miser eye for a lullaby. There's no time to lose, and if the prosaic moment comes, follow the ship. Perhaps it's best, now that I'm sitting and I start to write. What's that swallow doing, the one I saw this morning, signing letters in space? When I move my left foot, what does the great Chinese Mandarin do with his foot? When I light a cigarette, what happens to the other cigarettes that came on the boat? Where is the leaf of the future fire? And if I raise my eyes just now, what's the explorer on foot to the pole doing with his eyes? I am here. Where are the others? Act echoes act, a chain electrified with no connections, a solitary rhythm interrupted. Who's dying and who's been born, while my pen runs across the paper? There's no time to lose. Joy, get up and run the needle of your silks from pore to pore. Hurry up, travel the worlds and the wet crocodiles. Lend me, women, your summer eyes. I lap splattered clouds as autumn follows the donkey cart. A rising periscope debates the modesty of winter. From the perspective of a kite turned blue by the infinite, the young colour of birds at 100%. Perhaps it was a romance watched by hapless doves, or the rude glove of a crime that will be born to a woman or a poppy, the flower pot of blackbirds that kiss in mid-air, brave calves of night, the sweetheart who hides in her flower skin. Rose upturned and rose returned and rose and rose. Though the warden don't want it, muddy rivers make for clean fishing. Night, lend me your woman with calves for a flower pot of young poppies. wet with colour like the hapless little donkey, the sweetheart with no flowers, no worlds of birds. Winter hardens the currant doves. Look at the cart and the crimes of crocodiles turning blue, that are periscopes in the clouds of modesty. Sweetheart rising to 100% celestial. Lap the perspective to be born from a splatter of kites, and the agreeable gloves of autumn that debate in the skin of romance. There's no time to lose. The indecision aboard the tour ship is a token of the cruelties of night, for the evil man or the austere woman is helpless against the mortality rate in the house and the lack of order. Whether it be gold or illness, a respectable surprise or domestic espionage for foreign victory, internal dispute produces justified mistrust of eyelids washed in prison, sorrows reaching their end and the foundation stones of marriage, murmurs of unprotected waterfalls, dissensions in the military ranks and the obstacles on account of the statement by the blonde woman. The blonde woman who criticised the loss of the expedition or the ultimate utility of justice. Like the legal separation of a love with no future, prudence weeps for the unfortunate follies of a latent madness that utterly ignores the pleasures of moderation. There's no time to lose. In order to speak of the hermitage of the earth and of the arrival of the agricultural day to nothingness, lover of lotteries with neither progress nor a child for comfort, then the unforeseen pain that comes from the crossroads of hope in this land of a new sincerity is somewhat obscure, like the priest in the business of misery or a traitor stranded on the water who seeks protection from the unwavering union of strife of ignorance. But the letter comes along its route, and the woman placed in the position of pain knows the successful results of pregnancy, and the inactivity of past desire gives an advantage to people who have an inclination for the priesthood. But he gains in stature from the fall and becomes more intimate than the follies of the fair maiden or the friendship of madness. There's no time to lose. All this so sad, like the child who's left an orphan, like the letter that falls in the middle of an eye, like the dog's death of a blind man, like the river stretching out on its deathbed. All this so lovely, like watching sparrow love 3 hours after the celestial time, like hearing two anonymous birds singing to the same lily, like the snake's head where opium dreams, like the ruby born of a woman's desires, like the sea that doesn't know if it laughs or cries, like the colours that fall from the brains of butterflies, like the gold mines of bees, satellites to spikenard, like seagulls to a boat, the bees that carry the seed within and drift off more perfumed than handkerchiefs, though they are not birds, and do not leave their monograms on the sky, on the far-off, eye-kissed sky, and at the journey's end they vomit the soul of the petals, as seagulls vomit the horizon and swallows the summer. There's no time to lose. Look here, swoops the monochronic swallow, with an antipodal tone of approaching distance. Here swoops the swallowing swallow. At the horse-lop of the horizon, the violin swallow, with a cello tail, slipped down this morning from a lunar wing, and hurries near. Look here, swoops the swooping swallow, here swoops the whooping wallow, here swoops the weeping willow. Look, here swoops the sweeping shrillow, swoops the swamping shallow, swoops the sheeping wallow, swoops the slooping swallow. Look here, swoops the sloping spillow, the scooping spellow, the souping smellow, the seeping swillow, the sleeping shallow. Look here, swoops the swooping day, and the night retracts its claws like a leopard, swoops the swapping swallow, with a nest in each of the torrid zones. As I have on the four horizons, swoops the snooping smallow, and waves rise on tiptoe, swoops the whelping whirlwill, and the hill slop's head feels dizzy, swoops the slapping squallow, and the wind's a parabola of orgiastic sliffs. The telephone wires fill with notes. The sunset sleeps head under the sheets, and the tree a feverish pulse. But the sky prefers the night dungale, its favourite sun the night wrengale, its flower of joy the night mingale, its skin of tears the nighfangle, its nocturnal throat the nightsongal, the nighlangle the nightingale. There's no time to lose. The streamer has its days marked by the dangerous holes stars open in the sea. It could fall into the central fire with its banners that explode from time to time. Irritated elves blow away the seeds and interrogate me. But I hear only the notes of the wallflower. When someone pushes the pedals of the wind and the hurricane appears, the river runs like a whipped dog, runs as it runs to hide itself in the sea, and the flock goes by, ruining my nerves. Then I can only say that I don't buy stars at the nightery, or new waves at the sea store. I'd rather listen to the notes of the wallflower next to the waterfall that counts its change, or the squeal of the aeroplane at the tip of the sky, or see the tiger's eye where a naked woman dreams, for if not, word that comes from so far will shatter between my lips. I have no towering pride, nor any petrified hates. I don't shout like a friendly hat that comes out of the desert. I only say, there's no time to lose. The vizier speaks to us in bird language, long, long as a path. Caravans move over his voice and ships toward blurred horizons. He restores the Orient to souls that eat Orient of pearl and stuff themselves with matches at every step. A forest sprouts from his mouth, a star sprouts from his forest. From the star a mountain falls on the night, from the night another night falls, on the night of space. The far-off night so far off it seems like a woman's corpse they carry. Goodbye, one must say, goodbye. Goodbye, one must say to God. Then the hurricane, wrecked by the tongue's light, unravels in circular arpeggios. And the moon appears followed by some gulls, and on the road a horse goes off, galloping larger as it goes. Hurry up, the seeds are ready, waiting for the order to flower. Be patient, soon they'll grow, and travel along the paths of sap up their private stairway, a minute of rest before the tree's voyage to the sky. The tree is afraid of going too far. It's afraid and looks back in anguish. Night makes it terrible, the lycanthropic night, the night that flies its claws on the wind and sharpens the sounds of the forest. I'm afraid I say the tree is afraid of going too far from the earth. There's no time to lose. The icebergs that float in the eyes of the dead know the way. He who weeps will be blind, darkness of the endless crypt, abandoned hopes, torment turned into cemetery script. Here lies Carlotta seasoning eyes, crushed by a satellite. Here lies Mateus, two sharks battled in his heart. Here lies Marcello, heaven and hello in the same violoncello. Here lies Susanna, drained from staining against the void. Here lies Teresa, placed in the terrain her eyes once ploughed. Here lies Angelica, anchored in the inlet of her arms. Here lies Rosemary Rose, carried to the infinite. Here lies Raymond, rays of mud his veins. Here lies Clarissa, clear is her smile, encloistered in the light. Here lies Alexander, alas, until all is yonder. Here lies Gabriella, breakwaters broken, she rises in sap, so that the dream that awaits resurrection. Here lies Altazor, hawk exploded by the altitude. Here lies Vincenti, anti-poet and magician. He who weeps will be blind, blind as the comet that travels with its staff, and its mist of souls that follow it, instinctively obedient to its wishes, never minding the meteoroids that pelt from afar and live in colonies according to the seasons. The insolent meteoroid crosses the sky, the meteoroid and the meteoroid and the meteoroids in the infinite, the meteoroid in a glance, Aviator, be careful with the stars. Careful with the dawn, lest the aeronaut becomes a sunicide. The sky has never had as many roads as this. Never has it been so treacherous. An errant star brings me greetings from a friend 10 years dead. Hurry up, hurry up. Planets are ripening in the planetary. My eyes have seen the root of all birds, beyond the beyond of water lilies, and before the before of butterflies. Do you hear the sound that mandolins make when dying? I am lost. There's nothing left but capitulation to the war without quarter and the nightly ambush of these stars. Eternity waits to conquer, and for that reason there's no time to lose. Then, then, beyond the last horizon, we'll see what there is to see. The city, beneath the lights and the hanging wash, the aerial trickster, naked, fragile, the night at the bottom of the sea, tender, drowned, blind to death and its splendour, and the sound, space, the light shaft, drowsy at the starboard. In height, in light, earth and its sky and its earth, forest night and river day through the universe. The bird, tralali, sings in the branches of my brain, for I found the key to the infinite eternity, round as the unimos and the cosverse, overio, oh he, tralali, tralala, ahi, 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 ahia, e.